In this video, I'm going to do a deep dive into the car settings and all that you can do through this touch interface. What's good about it, what's bad about it, all that and a lot more. Stay tuned. For those who want to know, the ATTO 3 is running on this version of software as of this date. This is your home screen, and you can either have it in landscape or portrait mode. To change it, you can press this button either on the steering wheel or on the screen. And for the rest of the video, we're going to keep it like this. I gotta say, either view is really usable and is a good demonstration of, say, the cameras operating in either view. Under the hood, the ATTO 3 is using an Android 3 operating system, and this navigation screen is essentially an app. It works at a brisk pace and provides most everything you need. I'll go through the different icons here. First up, seeing how much range you have with the car. Based upon 32% stated charge with 152 kilometers, this is roughly how far the car could travel. Nice feature. It can show where charging stations are located near to you, including Tesla superchargers, which actually aren't available to non-Tesla vehicles in Victoria as of this recording date. I guess that's for our near future where they are. Buried in the app are things like heads up, always point north, and 3D north. All are excellent options, and the app is very responsive, and I like how it overlay lines just like a Tesla does, and I find this 3D map view to be pretty good. There's different display features or icons and options like avoiding tolls, tunnels, or any of these things. You can look up addresses here, and so say if I wanted to go to Sydney, New South Wales, oh wow, 7 hours and 56 minutes. But unlike Tesla, where it's going to say where and how long you need to stop at a supercharger, it's not going to do that. You can tap on the charging icon and it will tell you either along the route, nearby the route, or near your destination, which in this trip isn't very useful. I found this app to be perfect. It's responsive, fast, and good enough for most everyday situations. Now, would I use this over Android Auto or Apple CarPlay? Maybe, and I'll explain why later in this video. Going back home, and here we have Spotify, the full app version found on Android devices, meaning you've got recents, album art, your library, search, shuffle, radio, and more. Now, you see this microphone icon? It doesn't work. I knew this wasn't going to work because the voice assistant can't search inside apps. Compared to Tesla, which does this, it's frustrating. Completing out this section, you've got DAB radio, Bluetooth, and USB. Sound quality from the 8-speaker system is excellent, especially at this price point. Time for a voice assistant demonstration to control seat warmers. Turn on seat warmers.
Say that again.
Turn on seat heaters.
Seat ventilation is not possible.
Turn on seat heating.
Got it. I'll turn on seat heating.
Well, we finally got there, and this demo is maybe not the best one, so one more time perhaps. Set temperature to 23 degrees.
All right, the temperature is set to 23 degrees.
There. See, it works, and generally it gets it right if you use the correct keywords. Now, speaking of climate, let's jump into those controls. The ATTO 3 has a heat pump which works well, and the system is pretty easy to control. You've got manual and automatic modes. At the top left corner, you'll note it's got a live PM 2.5 readout, measuring 22 on the outside and 8 inside. If need be, we can do a quick air purification, which will ramp up everything and clean the cabin air. One annoyance I have with this system is that there isn't a toggle button on this screen for, say, seat warmers. Instead, you have to jump to this sub-screen, meaning this space down here is wasted. It's not a big issue and could be fixed with an over-the-air update, so it'd be nice to see BYD change this in the future. Moving on to controls down the bottom, you've got system on and off, which really doesn't turn it off per se. Instead, it gives you this standby screen. Pretty silly, to be honest. However, a great set of features are quick access controls, which can be accessed by swiping down from the top of the screen. In here, you've got different volumes for media, guidance, the tablet, as well as instrument cluster. So that means sounds like lane departure warning, say. If you want to change out some shortcuts, say electronic stability control, we tap this icon and shift over something like interior lights or sunroof controls. This screen is a soft version of some hard buttons found at the top front of the cabin, where you can select how far back you want the sun shade or sunroof. It's well handled, and I found the physical controls to be easier and quicker to use compared to these soft options. If you're used to Android icons, you'll know what this button is for. That's recent apps, and hilariously, here it is, Android showing its true colors. Quick question, do you use this function? Comment below. Other functions here are home and back, so if I'm in a menu like this, I can either close it by tapping here, or I press the back button down here. Duplicated, but welcome if you ask me. Other features include Sentry mode, wireless Apple CarPlay, as well as wireless Android Auto. So right now, my phone is here, no USB cable folks, and it's screen mirroring to this lovely tablet. I think this looks great on the screen, and being Android Auto, you can shift your music over here or swap them around. Access your apps and have something else open. Brilliant. It all works seamlessly, except not being able to return to the home screen. No matter where I swipe, no joy. Instead, I have to press either the camera or mode button to get back to the home screen. It's a bit of an oversight on BYD's behalf, and can be addressed again through an over-the-air update, which is probably a great segue to the settings and software updates. The ATTO 3 has a mobile SIM connectivity, so 4G right now, plus you can connect to Wi-Fi, create a hotspot, and more. You have different sound designs, plus once again controls for different volumes, which is not that different from quick setting menu you saw earlier. One thing that I critiqued in the extended driving impressions and the review was that the display doesn't have an automatic light sensor, meaning that when you go under a bridge and the automatic headlights come on, the screen dims in response, when it didn't need to. It's annoying and needs to be addressed in future versions of this car. You can look under the hood at app permissions, but most are locked down and you can't disable them or delete them, and at best, force stop them. I have seen some videos online of people sideloading Netflix, Waze, and other apps, so if you're feeling adventurous, the benefits of the Android tablet can be manifold. Finishing off this area, you can see how much storage space the system has. Security permissions, notifications for different apps, and finally, automatic time sync, format, and many language selections. Now, you'll be pleased to know that pressing the I button will bring up more information about what that function does. It's very handy and a good supplement to the car manual, which doesn't always have the same matching car terms or wording used here. In my extended driving impressions video, link up here, you'll know that I found the ATTO 3 traffic sign recognition to miss half of the speed signs, which, to be honest, is what Tesla and many other cars also do. So same, shall we say. Moving on, the ATTO 3 has predictive collision warning, autonomous emergency braking, blind spot assist, and all these different systems. So pause if you want to take a good look at them. You've got the usual stuff like electronic stability control, hill descent control. Not that I would do anything crazy like a four-wheel drive down a steep slope, say, as this is only front-wheel drive and its current tyres are very average. The cameras built into this car are excellent. I mean, check out this stitched and fluid 360-degree picture. And watch this, you can see under the car. It's AI generated, but amazing nonetheless. Tapping here means there are different views that can be easily swapped, and I gotta say, Tesla, this is how you do it. Simply brilliant. This menu is strangely titled Energy. I guess because #reasons? like perhaps energy feedback, which is a funny way of saying regen, either normal or high, or in my experience, along with many others, it's actually pretty weak. Display mode is either standard for averaging across X number of kilometers or real time if that's how you roll. Charge settings are well laid out, simple and effective, like you telling it when you want to depart, and it will work out everything backwards from there. There's also charge port locking that matches what the car does. A useful feature if you have a locked garage, say. A quick note here, after 11,000 kilometers, this car is averaging 16.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and during my week and a half, I got closer to 16. That realistically means you can expect about 405 kilometers of range, or even less if you do highway or freeway speeds. Complete in this area, you have energy and consumption use, which doesn't provide a lot of information, like is this power delivery in kilowatts? Coming over to vehicle settings, we've got controls for steering weight, comfort, which is perfectly fine, or sport, which wasn't that much more weighted. Brake assist mode is about how sensitive the brake varies to forces placed upon it. Given that regen is mostly covered through the brake pedal, and I criticized BYD ATTO 3 for this as being very weak, sport mode is supposedly sharper versus softer, but it doesn't translate how the car actually feels and behaves. I mean, the comfort parking function is a combo of intelligent braking system that reduces suspension pitch and sudden jolts by controlling the brake pressure, especially like when you're slowing or stopping at lights, say. I turned this off a few times, and again, I really couldn't differentiate between the two. On a positive note, however, the cabin interior lights are LED along with the ambient lights. You can set any color, intensity, and set it to the front, rear, or entire cabin. For me, Team Blue, thank you very much. There's a crazy dynamic mode, a pulsating color changing thing, or like music rhythm. So if rainbow, tropical, or whatever color combo is your mojo, so be it. You can adjust headlight level, how long headlights stay on for, either leaving the car or when you get into it. One thing I forgot to include in the review was that there's puddle lights underneath the wing mirrors. Nice touch. Coming down, vehicle health, you have next service date and maintenance mileage. See my review for more information on that. Wiper service mode, to change them out. You also have car status, which is quick and, well, doesn't tell you much. And this is the same as what my MG ZS EV does, and it'd be nice to see a list of things that it's checked and their status, but it's, I guess, reassuring to have. Almost there. This is where you'll find automatic fold for the external mirrors, auto climate control, again touched on earlier, but this is where you can say turn it on using the key fob or app, run the aircon for say 10 or 30 minutes, and then it will automatically turn off. Also in here, you'll find aircon energy mode, economical versus comfort. Being a heat pump, I found it to perform very well in Australian winter. With the boot, you can set the height of where you want it to go to and close the windows through the key fob if you like. Now, I wonder if you know the answer to this. The sunshade closes every time I turn the car off. In summer, this is a great feature, but in winter, when you want the sun to warm your car, I don't want this to occur. So I would have thought it would be an option here, but I couldn't locate it. If you know how to disable auto close, please put it in the comments and I'll pin it to the top. A few more items. You have door lock whilst driving, an excellent safety feature, and this annoying notification which returns way too many times. Like, what is this? I don't know what it is. Low battery warnings, vehicle problems, sounds from the pedestrian warning system, which is quite loud. It runs up to speeds of 30 km per hour, and I didn't experiment with this simulated engine sound, nor did I get any recordings of it, so sorry about that. Speed warning I've already talked about earlier, and finally vehicle health and other stuff that I've talked about before as well. So all in all, it's very comprehensive and something that is really comparable to a Tesla, but done through this Android operating system. And that got me thinking, if this is so good, I mean really, navigation, Spotify and other apps that you could download to it, Why would you need Android Auto or Apple CarPlay? I guess you could argue that Android Auto has more services, voice assistant, Audible, or maybe an app that you love using, say PlugShare or a better route planner. But again, you could sideload these onto the tablet itself and not step out of the BYD universe. Maybe I would have enjoyed the wireless Android feature more if there was an easy way to step out of it instead of pressing those two hard buttons on the steering wheel. So comment below, do you prefer Team Android, Apple CarPlay, or the ATTO 3 system? Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. Think about helping my coffee addiction by giving me a Ko-fi tip. Patreon support for behind the scenes and stuff you don't get here on YouTube, and otherwise, you be good and you be green.